What is happening, people? United Central back with another video, Straightjacket podcast 98. I'm with the two brothers right here. Man, 98, man. It's been unreal, man. I can't believe the journey, man. The journey. Imagine 98 podcast, man. It's crazy, man. We started the journey, can you believe, in a yogurt shop, man. You feel me? In a brother's yogurt shop, man. Shout out to Hussein, his yogurt shop down. Yo, trust me, man. Oxford Road. And then we came up to studios, went up, you know what I mean? And then now we're here, man, 98 podcast here. So big up, man. Obviously, we have always our guest right here, Mr. Flawless Techno. How are you, first and foremost?
Yo, man, I'm good, first and foremost. Secondly, like I always tell you, blessed for having man in it. And I just want to say, big up to everybody supporting in it. Like, you lot are the real MVPs, you get what I'm saying? Salute to you as well, you feel me?
Yeah, man. And shout out to obviously who's in the background. Shout out to Emma in the background, you feel me? But yeah, man, we also got another brother in the building. We got man like Musa. Yo, Musa, thanks for coming on, bro.
Thank you for having me, man. It's a pleasure, man. I've been watching. I'm always promoting. I love the work that you're doing. Obviously, we're linked up at Old Trafford, so just love to see what you guys are up to, man.
Yeah, man. Everyone say, where's Aaron and Nuruddin? Aaron might come on the show, and obviously Nuruddin is doing his charity work, you know what I mean? So big up Nuruddin. He's doing his charity work in a minute, so when the time's right, he will come back on. But guys, before we start this video, please smash the like on the video. This is going to be a mega podcast, guys. So please, if you are watching this right now, smash that like on the video, share the video, and also let me know where you're watching from around the world, man. I always want to see where people are watching from around the world. So please let me know where you're watching from around the world. You know what I mean? Big up, like Anas, he's here right now. You know what I mean? But you know what I mean? Already here. We got Musa, Flawless, Feet, Tanya. Yo, listen. We go another day, man. You know what I mean? Musa, you'll find out who Tanya is in the stream. You feel me? Yeah, man. Okay. Someone goes there. 98 podcast. Can't believe we made this far. Glad to be in this journey with you. Yo, big up, man. It's all of you have been in there. You know what I mean? This journey. But obviously, we have to start with this Straightjacket podcast. And I'm going to start with you, Musa, first, man. The title of the video is Mainstream Media Witch Hunt, man. You know what, man? For me, it's become a witch hunt now. It's almost becoming now so clear what they're trying to do. You know what I mean? We'll start off with Mason Greenwood, man. Obviously, young kid, one of his friends, Jeremy Whiston, you know what I mean? Rest in peace. He died. The media said he's going to be the next, what's it called? What's that player called again? West Ham, former United youth player. You know what I mean? They said he's going to be the same player as him. You know what I mean?
Morrison.
Yeah, Ravel Morrison.
Yeah.
What's going on, man? You know what I mean? What is going on with the media at the minute, man? It's becoming a bit crazy at the minute. What is the witch hunt against? You know what? Let's start with both of them. Mason Greenwood and Rashford. Why is there a media witch hunt against these two? Evidently, before we talk about racism and kind of the racial profile and discrimination, what is the reason they're trying to pick on these two in particular?
Well, for me, when you look at the media, when you look at the media and you look at the machine that the media is, and we look at the history of the media in the UK and in past times in terms of their way of reporting stories, especially when it comes to ethnic minority, I feel like it's very easy for us to feel or to think just the fact that we're in this world of football and famous individuals and stuff like that their narrative and their way of reporting changes. But what we got to look at here is look at a group of people and to see how they've been portrayed in the media, for years of past, and to see the consistent pattern of play that the media continues to propagate through their platforms in terms of ethnic minorities. And I just feel like as football fans, we shouldn't be naive enough to believe that just because they're a famous footballer or they're doing well, that they're not gonna see this level of scrutiny in terms of delving into personal situations and personal lives. And I think we can see that happening more and more, especially with the rise of social media, that we're able to now kind of have contact with players. Because once upon a time, we didn't follow the famous footballers. They didn't have no Twitter and Instagram where we could see how they lived their lives and can see the type of person they were. We used to actually take what the media said as gospel, and we used to take it to be the truth. And we used to think like, when they used to report about players like Giggs and Beckham and that, when there weren't no social media, whatever they said, we took it to be the truth. But I feel like now as fans, following some of these individuals, some of them even replying to us on social media and having a level of understanding and seeing how they live and seeing that they're just normal lads, normal kids growing up, you know, within the same society we're growing up. We're able to see that this pattern of how they're dealing with them. Like example, just because we're Man United fans, we're not going to overlook the things that happen to people like Raheem Sterling because they're City fans. We see the same pattern of play that happened over there with Raheem, and we didn't accept it with that, and we're not going to accept it here because I think it's too easy for us to say it's not race related. But if we look at the elephant in the room, it's the common factor. There's a common factor here, and sadly, if we call it out for what it is, it's race related. My opinion.
You know what, man, and that's the problem for me. You know what I mean? I think, you know what, there was a lot of abuse for Pogba, but I think people said, you know what, it's Pogba. Now it's happened to one of our own. Do you think the people will be as kind of ignorant to it, or do you still think, you know what I mean, as long as people kind of, you know, don't have one kind of viewpoint, it'll just keep happening. You know what I mean? Like the media are just gonna keep doing it because at the end of the day, there's no accountability. Man United have not come and stepped forward till this day. Right now, they've not said anything. So basically, Man United are as bad as them. Really, if I'm
they're cool, and that's very sad because when you look at players like Balotelli and the type of press they got, and the type of, but then when you look at players who played with Balotelli and talked about the energy he brought in the dressing room, the type of character he brought in the dressing room, he doesn't have a bad word said about him by his teammates. They all loved him, loved his energy and whatever it may be. But when you see the type of press that he got and how he was portrayed and how he was looked at, then you look at other guys who've been to prison, for example, you know, charges of rape, come out of prison and are signing football contracts for big clubs, signing football contracts, and we're not hearing much about them. We're not hearing the stories of, you know, like what their lives are. It's like they're forgotten about. They're let to go and live a private life, and then you find young, affluent, you know, and again, it's the same thing that you find within the schooling system, and that's why I talk about the media as a whole, because even when you look at the judicial system in terms of how law is passed down in the UK, then you look at things like school and different cultures and being able to understand people differently. Some of the things that Paul Pogba does, us, man, look at it and we get it, like on his social medias. It's not a big thing. We just look at it as a young person, you know, doing his thing, you know, growing up, living his life. The same with Sterling, people like Sterling, Rashford. When we see Rashford giving back, we're not shocked. We're not like, rah, what's Rashford doing this food thing? The rest of the world is shocked and the rest of the country, but we're not shocked because we get it. People from our community, when we get a little something, we try to bring people in. We try to make a difference. So when we see that, we're not shocked because we get them. And I keep on thinking that the fact that the people that write these stories are not from our communities, nor do they get us and understand our ways of life, it's going to continue to happen.
Flawless, man. You heard it, Musa there, man. He says it there. You know, it's going to keep happening when it's not being put out quickly. You know what I mean? Man United, I don't know why they're not saying anything about this, man. You know what I mean? It's crazy, Flawless, man. How do we eradicate this, man? You know what I mean? How does this keep going? Rashford's bought a house in you know what I mean, to kind of build, you know what I mean, a life. You know what I mean? Like, you've got to say, you know what I mean, to these players, these black upcoming, you know what I mean, young players, you can't knock them down when they're young, man. This is when they should be kind of aspiring to kind of look forward to the future. I mean, if you're gonna knock them down, man, what's going on, man? Like, when are we ever gonna achieve a fairer society? We're talking about a fairer society now. This is coming to the point where we're talking about actual human beings, man. You know what I mean? And knowing that, you know what, a black guy can own about 5 houses as well as a white guy can. You know what I mean? We're all a level playing field here. Do you know what I mean?
No, man.
Did you get that, Flawless? Did you get that, Flawless?
One. Did he get that? You get that, Flawless?
Did you get that, Flawless? Let's see, but I mean, you take on that, bro.
I feel like when you mention as well the fact that of owning houses, we look at people like Robbie Fowler and the amount of houses that he bought, and he went into the property thing, and what he was doing, and you find that there's footballers who have gone into the real estate world and they own hundreds of houses. They bought houses all up and down the country, and it gets promoted as a good thing, you know, that their business acumen is right and they're doing the right things. They're looking after themselves and creating a life after football, and you know, they're looking after their money, and then they don't want to end up, you know, in a bad financial situation after football. Football's a short career. You don't play until you're old. You know, we start hearing all of these things to make it seem good. But then as soon as it's a young up and coming black player, we just see, you know, the same story spun on its head, made to look as if nobody wants to buy their mum a house, or if me and you was in the same position, we wouldn't buy our brothers a house and our sisters' houses. Like, this is the natural thing to do, as you know, as any human being would like to do. You want to see your family secured, and you want to see them, you know, able to. You just want to secure their future. So I just feel like what we need to do, and professional footballers need to do this more, because we're here on a fan station, you know, giving our opinion as Man United supporters, and also just as, you know, young black men, in terms of how we've been dealt with in the past and how we see a similar representation of what's happening to black footballers. So we're not speaking from a point of not understanding, because a lot of us have been through, you know, situations in our own lives where we've seen a similar representation take place. So we're coming out here and we're saying, we're not just saying this for the sake of saying it, but I think it's very important, like you said before, that Manchester United needs to take a stand on this. Because if any of you guys on these Man United fan channels say anything about Manchester United, they don't want you nowhere near the club, nowhere near,
man. Nowhere near.
But as soon as these, you know, tabloids keep on going in about their players, they invite them in the next day. Like every week they're there to report on Man United, and nothing gets done. And like you said, I think Manchester United needs to come out, and all football clubs need to come out and take a stance on defending their ethnic minority players.
Yeah, man. And you know what, man? That's the biggest thing for me. You know what I mean? What would you see? What would you, for you, what would your message be to kind of like, what would be your kind of, you know what I mean, go-to thing to do, you know what I mean, in terms of your protocols, let's should I say, how would you promote the protocols of this, you know what I mean? Because for me, if it's going to keep happening, we need to have something there, you know what I mean? Do we ban the media? Do we ban kind of like Daily Mail? Does the Premier League say, you know what, Daily Mail, we're not having this anymore? The Premier League, basically, without the players, the Premier League's nothing, isn't it? Right? Yes or no?
Yeah, of course.
I mean, if they don't do anything, the Premier League, yes, I know they're trying to do the Black Lives Matter stuff and all that, yeah, but if they're not doing anything about it, then do you know what, man? Like, you might as well just almost like say to the players, you know what, you're worthless, man. We don't care what you think, man.
Yeah, like
you just do what you want to do.
It doesn't add up, man. We got Players Union, you know, we got the Black Football Association. We've got all of these unions within football, and you know, not much is changing. But I think what you said before was the best thing, man. The clubs need to take a stance, because it's the clubs that invite them down all the time to give, you know, to put the questions to the clubs, to go back and write these stories. The clubs need to take a stance, because Mason Greenwood's a 19-year-old who's lost a friend to mental health and suicide and things like that. And do they think it's right for him to then be all over the tabloids? You know what I'm saying? And you got to understand, Mason Greenwood went in a space of a season from someone who could walk down the road to someone who couldn't walk down the road no more. You know what I'm saying? These are massive things. I think people don't
realize that, do they?
They don't. They just think you're getting paid well. You're playing for one of the best teams in the world. Take it or leave it. Like, what's your problem? But people don't get it. Like, if we and we got all of these campaigns coming out, mental health this, mental health that. Well, here's a young kid who's been thrown into the limelight because of his, you know, football ability. His friends just passed away from a similar situation. He needs all the protection and the support that he can get. But no, we do the opposite. It's crazy to think about that.
Flawless, what's your opinion on it? I know we spoke on the Sarcasm City, you know, I mean, shout out to Sarcasm City, but what's your actual opinion on what needs to be, what's going on at the minute, and the media and how they're working at the minute? What, like, seriously, man, what do you think needs to happen, man, right now?
Yo, these lot need to be boycotted at the end of the day. That's what we need to do. Start boycotting these newspapers, start boycotting journalists. Like, we need to start targeting these people, because they do this for, they know Manchester United move media, hated, adored, never ignored. You get me?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I don't
that
know
was
what that noise was.
then.
Yeah,
That was that then.
it's not.
Yeah, that was the
But
Dan.
yes, nah,
Yeah, man. Go on.
Nah,
So
it's cool. It's cool, isn't it? So as I was saying, yeah, we need to start boycotting and targeting these newspapers. You see how in Liverpool nobody buys the Sun. Like in Liverpool, how nobody buys the Sun, nobody pays it no attention. That's what we need to do nationally. We need to start paying the Independent, the Daily Mirror, the Star, whoever's doing these bullshit articles needs to block it all. You get me? And we need to start name. Someone said it on Sarcasm City yesterday. We need to start naming these. What's it called, innit? Start naming these journalists by name. You feel me?
Yeah. 100%. I agree with that.
Absolutely. And would you do that as well, and Musa? Like, can you do? Can Man United afford to do that? With the name.
Serious, that's a fair point.
How can Man United afford to do that? Flawless. No. If you could mute your mic, if you could, please. Could Man United afford to do that though?
Yeah, no, I think he makes a valid point there, man. I think we need to, and one of the problems that these journalists are finding is that with the new age media and how the media is growing and going into a certain direction, and you have to understand all of these ethnic minorities that they're displeased with, don't like. They're all a lot of people from these communities are going to college and university and studying media and journalism. They will be the new journalists and the new media in the futures to come. And a lot of these old heads are not happy with the change in hand. And this is why we're continuing to get these type of old school media reports, old school, using certain type of language to describe ethnic minorities. And like what you said, we need to, and Man United supporters, and also Man United as a club, we need to take a stance here. There has to be a level of, if you want to call out our young 19-year-old players, we're not talking about one of our senior players here, 33, 32, whatever years old of age. We're talking about a 19-year-old player here, and then we're looking at the other one, Foden, at Man City, and we're seeing the two different types of treatment. One of them still out of the team of the England camp, the other one's there turning up like nothing happened.
Absolutely, and you know what I mean, like Flawless. I don't know if you can hear me there, but you know what I mean. Man United now
man,
have a duty.
Can you hear me in that?
Yeah, I can hear you. Man United have a duty now to a duty of care, if you call it, man. Because end of the day, I know that we're gonna be losing. They're gonna be losing money, but would it not be more respectable to say, you know what, we're gonna support Mason Greenwood and Rashford because this ain't right, man. This ain't right what the media trying to do. I call them the devil, man. They are the devil because what they do is they
not at all. Manchester United need to be. They should have defended him. Yeah, go on.
No, you speak. Go on, Flawless. Go on, you can say. I don't know if you can hear me. Flawless, you say something.
I didn't want to cut you off. That's all. Continue what you're saying. As I was saying, yes, Manchester United need to get. Yeah. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. You can hear me. Sorry, man. My connection's dodgy. That's why I've been moving it around. All right. United should have defended Mason Greenwood the first time. I'm big on that. It doesn't matter. Fergie would do that all the time. It doesn't matter if your player's in the right or in the wrong. If you're Manchester United, you defend Manchester United players publicly, even if they're wrong. And if they're wrong, what you do is you punish them privately. Anything can be dealt in-house. You don't air dirty laundry. You get what I'm saying in that? Fergie never aired out his players. When did you ever see Fergie air out his players, even when he was in the wrong? Cantona kicked a fan. Fergie didn't criticize him publicly. You get what I'm saying? Players would get sent off. He'd never criticized them publicly. Yes, privately they get dealt with, fined, they get the hairdryer treatment, etc. And that's what Manchester United need to do. Defend your players regardless, publicly. I'm not saying don't punish them if they're in the wrong, but as soon as the first incident happened with Greenwood, United should have been defending him straight away, instantly. And we waited, and now more stories are coming out. You need to let publications and journalists and media and newspapers know this won't be tolerated at our club. Defend them. You get what I'm saying in that? You know what I'm saying? It's like if someone, Saeed, you're my dog. If someone criticizes you publicly, even if you're in the wrong, I'm going to defend you. You get what I'm saying? And then privately, we'll talk about it. I'm never going to publicly criticize you. So it's ridiculous.
Yeah, man. And you know what it is as well, man. You know what I mean? For me, it's been a history of this. You know what I mean? We call it Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba's still getting it right now. You know what I mean? You see the comments now. You know what I mean? All over Twitter, people are saying to him, get out of the football club. You've been negative. You know what I mean? You're a virus in the football club.
Imagine.
Like seriously, man. Like it's crazy, man. It really, really is baffling. And you know what it is, yeah?
Go on.
Sorry, go on.
Now I'm saying this is Paul Pogba. I'm saying this is the same guy that Bruno Fernandes said when he came over, he was helping him find houses, he was taking him around Manchester, all of this. Then we're gonna get our own fans who come out and say he's a virus to the club, he's negative, he's this and that. And I just feel like off the back of just one media story, you haven't even checked the facts.
The translation's wrong. Forget anything else.
This is what I'm saying. They haven't even checked the facts. And for me, someone who's been watching this show for a long time and seeing what you guys are doing and just watching fan channels, I just think like the level of like the level of scrutiny that some of the players get, especially someone like Paul Pogba, I feel like the media onslaught of Paul Pogba has also got to us as Man United fans to the point we start forgetting the actual facts of what he's done and what he hasn't done. And this was something I was talking to you about earlier, Saeed. If we look at the actual facts of Paul Pogba, the age that he came at Man United, then we look at some of the greats that he's always compared to, like Scholes, and we see what Scholes was doing at 23 years old at Man United, at 24 years old at Man United, at 25 years old. Paul Pogba is still 27 years old. If we go back and look at their age and what they were doing and the numbers they were putting up, we would be shocked. And then on top of that, they were in great teams with great people alongside them, you know, behind them, on the wing, on the front. Then you look at the team he was at and the age that he was at, and he's still outdoing them in numbers. You'll be shocked to see.
That's a thing, flawless, man. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? I think there's people that will say to, like, for me, people think that I hate Bruno Fernandes. I critique him, by the way. I don't know what people are trying to say on Twitter, but there's a lot of people thinking that I hate Bruno Fernandes. Listen, I've got nothing against Bruno Fernandes. I think maybe he plays better than number 8. But what I do see on Twitter, though, is, and social media, and you know what that derives from media, is I see a lot of actual hatred and abuse toward Paul Pogba. And you know what it is, yeah? Like, for me, it will keep going until then it goes to Greenwood, then it goes to Rashford. But I just look at Paul Pogba and I think, wow, man, like seriously, man. Yes, he's not playing well, but he's getting. Sorry, go on.
That's it. People are doubting if we should keep Paul Pogba. People are asking the question: people are saying sell him, get rid of him? I don't think people understand what's going on here. And I'm thinking, you go and ask any of the top 5 managers in world football today, do they want Paul Pogba? Do they want them in his team? And let's see what they're going to say. Forget about what we're saying. You go and ask any of the top 5. You go and ask any of the, you know, top players in world football today who's played against Paul Pogba, who's played with Paul Pogba, and see what they have to say.
Spot on. Spot on about Pogba. That is absolutely spot on.
Why is
that
it only Man United that has
everyone...
a division of players, man? Why is it only Man United that we kind of create?
You know why that is? Because we have a absolutely massive fan base. That's what it is. Because of the fan base we have, it's always divisions. We're the only team, we're the only set of fans who I see on social media who pit our players against each other. We'll have Martial versus Rashford. We'll have Pogba versus Bruno. Why can't we like them both? People are like say to me, "Oh, who do you prefer, Martial or Rashford?" I'm a Manchester United fan, so I want them both to do well. You get what I'm saying? It's like my preference is Martial, but that's because of the way Martial plays. But that doesn't take away from how good Rashford is. You know what I mean? When Rashford scores, man cheers just like Martial scored. I'm not Martial FC. I'm not Rashford FC. I'm Manchester United FC.
Facts,
you know what I'm saying? I want all these players to do well. Yes, you can debate who's better, but they're all cold. Martial, Rashford, quality ballers. I don't want to hear that. Bruno and Pogba, don't matter who you prefer, both quality ballers. I'm never going to argue someone down if they tell me Bruno's better than Pogba, because they're both cold. Are we not Manchester United fans? If we get the best Pogba and the best Bruno, does that not increase our chances of winning trophies? As Manchester United fans, I'm concerned on social media. Are people more interested in their individual players doing well rather than the team? Like, I don't understand the Pogba hate, and we used to touched on it when it's like all the players who play with Pogba and against Pogba call him world class and say he's this, but it's us as fans that say he's no good. Yannick Bolasie came out and said Yannick Bolassie's got no reason to it. He said Pogba's world class. I don't know what you're talking about. Declan Rice came out and said it. Troy Deeney came out and said when he came on against Watford, the whole bench went, "Oh shit, this guy's won a World Cup." Playing out because I don't understand it, innit? I'm hoping the connection's better on my phone, innit? That's why.
Nah,
I hope it's sorted out and that you can hear me and everything.
I don't get it. I heard them during this week. Carragher was on there talking about Pogba and Talksport. So I couldn't hold it. I just had to call up.
Yo.
So I called up. They put me through. Can you hear me, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Yeah. So they put me through to Carragher, and I said, look, this is the facts. What's happened to Paul Pogba? I said 2 seasons ago, he was Man United's top goal scorer, top assists. He made it. He was picked to be in the PFA team of the season. There was only 2 clubs in that team, Liverpool and City, and all the players in the Premier League picked Paul Pogba as one of the best midfielders that season. He was the highest scoring top midfielder for Man United in years to get into double figures. He was in the top 5 stats in European football. Yeah, and he was only 25 years old when he done that at Man United. The following season, he got injured and only played 16 Premier League games. That was last year. So going off the best season that he's ever had, I was thinking, how does Paul Pogba have one of the best his best professional career season ever, but he still came off the back of the media saying he's not consistent, he's not good enough, he doesn't do it for Man United.
It's been a cultural problem, though. You know, what I mean, I always say there's been a cultural problem. Man United.
Has anyone? Agendas, man.
Has anyone felt?
I'm sorry to cut you off. He's spot on, man. You see that Pogba should be given a free role like De Bruyne. Exactly.
Of course.
Give Pogba a free role.
Give him.
He's an attacking midfielder. You know what I'm saying?
Because Carragher, I said to Carragher, I said, you say that managers don't know his best position and they put him in numerous positions. I say, how can you not know his best position when he was in his best position? He was our top goal scorer, top assist, and in a PFA team of the season. Doesn't that tell you that's his best position? Then the following season, you take him out of that position because the team's slacking and is not good enough, and we need 2 holding midfielders to protect our crap midfield. So you take him out of his best position, put him in a position that he's not preferred to, and then he gets injured and only plays 16 games, and then he starts this season with coronavirus, and all of a sudden we've forgotten the type of player that he is. This is agendas.
But that's what I keep saying, and you know, and I said it's a media wit hunt, and I feel like it's kind of rubbed on the fans at the minute. You know what I mean? It really rubbed on the fans, and there's a lot of people who clipped me up today, and they said that, you know, I agree with Rance what he says, and I never speak for my own. I think Bruno Fernandes is a quality player, but I will still criticize him the way some people have criticized Pogba for so many years. I will criticize the player right now because I feel like for me, there has to be a standard level of Man United Football Club. There really has, man. And you've got to set that precedent. If you don't set that precedent, mate, you are a mediocrity team. Simple as that. You know what I mean? Simple as that. You become a mediocre team. And I always said to myself, you know, the level of Pogba gets here is crazy. I remember the game against Watford away, and Adam told me the story. He was at that game. And he said, Pogba changed that game, by the way, that game. And you see the level of abuse he got on the ground. A lot of booing, a lot of saying, get out of our football club. Get out, leave. I remember I'm in Old Trafford all the time, and the level of abuse he gets is crazy, man. And you know what it is, kind of for me, man, it's kind of sad, man. It really, really is sad, man.
Remember I feel when that guy was telling him, get out of our club, you're not doing it. That's the same season he got the record-breaking numbers and was in the PFA team of the season. And we've got fans in this ground telling him to get out of our club, that he's a virus. Imagine that. And that's what I said. The numbers that he got in that season, had he got them in Barcelona or Real Madrid, we would have been hearing a different type of story. But the fact that he's in a struggling Man United team, and that's not doing anything, all we hear is that he's not consistent. We talk about the guy's 25 years old. I told you, let's look at what Paul Scholes got at Man United in the 99 season when he was 25 years old. He got nine goals in 31 games and 7 assists in the Premier League. But we said he had an excellent season because midfielders that are getting 10, 11, 12 goals, it's a good season.
But then it's like, you know, like flawless, like I said, have Man United been good in the last 7 years since Fingers left Ferguson? So why do people expect all this stuff?
You know why people expect this? One is there's multiple reasons.
Well, you got your headphones there, flawless. You want to take it in and out? Yeah. Making a lot of noise.
Oh. Yo,
go on.
Is that better, yeah?
Yeah, a little bit better.
Cool. Yeah. As man was saying, there's multiple reasons why people criticize Pogba. One, people just don't like him. It doesn't matter what he does. Pogba could play 30 matches, get 20 assists, 10 goals, and somebody will complain. Someone will say that's not good enough. You get what I'm saying? And that unless if he did that and Manchester United finished third, people would still complain and say he needs to do more. Like the season Moose is talking about and that, like, it's ridiculous. Secondly, the expectation of him is so high because he is our best player and our most talented player. So you carry that burden, which is not his fault. It's a gift and a curse because of how good we know. As a midfielder, you can literally do everything as an attacking midfielder. Short passing, long passing, left foot, right foot, big, strong, can create goals, can score goals, can dribble. There's not another central midfielder, not number 10. There's not another central attacking midfielder at 8 or a 10 that can do that. Nobody can, he can dribble. You get what I'm saying? What other central midfielder is 6'3" doing step overs? It don't happen. You get what I'm saying in that? But then he has the size of, say, a Yaya Toure, but then he can dribble and stuff like that and run with the ball. You don't see that. So the expectation of him is high because of how good he is. But then he's not being given the best possible platform to succeed. Pogba doesn't always help himself. But some of the games he should be doing better. Some of the games 100%. He should definitely be doing better. But it's not all on him. He's responsible, as well as the players around him are responsible, and the managers have been responsible. Because he played under two managers who I don't rate. Yeah, I mean, Mourinho, who I do rate to an extent, but he wasn't good at Manchester United. That's what I'd say. And then Oli, who I don't rate. And then look at the team around him. You know what I'm saying? This guy was playing, like, people forget Bruno only just got here. He was 100%. Playing with your Pereira, who nobody rates. Lingard, who gets heavily criticized by our fan base. Dan James, who gets heavily criticized by our fan base. Marcus Rashford, according to some, doesn't have a footballing IQ. Martial, according to the likes of Scholes, is not a number 9. Here are the people, here are the players I'm naming. Like, so it's kind of like, what do people expect from it?
Facts, I agree. And I think to myself, and yet again, those seasons, like we said, he's 27 now. So my thing is that, yet again, all of that being said, with the team that he's been playing with, the type of managers and the setup that he's had, and he's still been 25, 26 years old. And I was just thinking, the type of Man United squad that we had, how do you expect to buy a 23-year-old to turn up and come change your whole season and just win you the league? Like, where does that happen? Where does 23-year-olds come, 24, 25, and just change your whole team and just, it has to have, for that to happen, you have to have a manager who is technically aware and knows what he's doing. What top 5 manager in the world will bench Paul Pogba for McTominay?
Does that just show how more about Pogba, you know what I mean, in terms of, I mean, Oli, that he can't play them tactically, can't play Bruno and Pogba and Van der Beek tactically, and then people will see that and headlines be like, yeah, Ollie's man, you know what, McTominay shows for the badge. McTominay's here for the badge.
I believe Ollie's scared because Ollie has tried to play the 4-3-3. That's what he played when he first came, and we done well. The problem with Ollie is that when he reverts to playing the 4-3-3, or he tries to play a different system that has more attacking players, and we lose a game, or we don't, or it doesn't go to plan as he wanted, he get the pressure of the fan base gets to him, and then he reverts back to what he knows to being safe. But look at Klopp and look at Pep and look at their first couple seasons. How many games did they get battered 3s and 2s, 3-0, 2-0? But they kept to the game plan because they said, you guys are going to have to learn the hard way, the system that we want to play with our attacking players to, you know, to get to where we want to go. I remember Pep's first season, him getting battered by Leicester and all these other teams. But the reality is he kept to the game plan because you have to learn somewhere. You have to learn, like, you have to stick to the system. Yeah, we might not win every game, but you're going to get the players used to playing the attacking style of play that fits our best players. And that's the only way they're going to learn in the games. Yeah, we might not win every game, but we're not winning every game now. And you're still trying to defend. You know what I'm saying? So for me,
it's hardly playing. It's hardly playing now. Look at this conversation here. Wouldn't be happening if United did buy it for 80 million. He didn't choose to be bought for 8 million. And expectations has come with that have been detrimental. Right. And you know what? That's probably been the best comment we've had so far, man. You know what I mean, Flawless, man?
That's kind of like the Maguire situation. That's why Maguire gets so much stick. If Maguire was signed for 40 million, he wouldn't get all the stick. But the fact he got signed for 80 million and then he got made captain, the expectation of him now is through the roof. And that's what happens. That's unfortunate, though. That's not his fault. And back to your points about Oli as well, it's kind of like you came in, said, I'm going to build the team around Pogba. Then you signed Bruno. Then you signed Donny. So I don't get how people are like, oh, Bruno and Pogba can play together.
100%.
That's nonsense. Bruno,
well, they showed it. They showed it, though. They showed it after the lockdown. They showed it. They went on a kind of a,
the manager is supposed to, The manager's supposed to manage. This is your job to get the best out of these players. You could, if you really wanted to, you could play Bruno, Donny, and Pogba if you wanted to. There's systems to get them in if you want to.
But I feel like that game against Seville that we lost, but we actually played very good and couldn't put the ball in the back of the net. Pogba was in the midfield next to Fred. Pogba was with Fred in the midfield. And we haven't seen that enough, because for me, Fred with anyone else, things are happening. But I remember that game and I was thinking, how have we not scored? Because we actually bossed the midfield. Because we know that obviously Pogba does a bit of running around and sometimes he's a bit too far forward. But we all know how Fred covers up for people. He covers up. He does a lot of the work. So for me, if you're going to play the two, then you have to play Pogba and Fred. That's how I see it. I don't know about you guys, but that's how I see it. If you want Pogba to play a bit further deep with a little bit of license to go forward, then you have to have Fred there.
See, I don't even want that. I want Pogba further forward. You know what I'm saying? I want Pogba in a free role. Like I'm saying, don't worry about your defense. You go forward and influence the game. To me, he's our best attacking midfielder. And before anyone puts this up out of context, I'm not saying Bruno's not good. I'm not saying Donny's not good. I'm saying they're all cold. I just think Pogba's the best out of the three of them. So give him a free role.
But the thing is, the manager won't do that though, will he? That's the thing though. And that's the scary bit about him also. The manager hasn't got the bottle to do it. And you know what? For that to keep happening, I still think we'll have this debate every time. When Pogba has a little 20-minute cameo and he doesn't do well, or he gets thrown in at left wing back against Arsenal, these questions will keep coming and they'll be like, you know what? He's not good enough anymore. He's not pulling his weight for the badge. When are we going to see consistency? Well, do you know what, mate? Man United have not shown consistency for the last 7 years, mate. And that's the reality, mate. For me, that's the biggest concern. I still believe Pogba can still have his best years at Man United. I really do. I'm not comparing it to Yaya Toure. But Yaya Toure was a quality player. He produced better, but he was 28 plus. And he produced better.
For me, why I believe that is true is that last season, Paul Pogba was injured. We remember he had 2 surgeries, I believe, last season. He came back after the COVID and he played with Bruno and he done well. So last season, he played 16 games in the Premier League. So for me, that's not a full season. That's like a third of the season he played last year. So what can you expect from any top class player who's out for the majority of the season and only plays a third of it? You don't expect much. So we can't judge him on that. So we can only judge Paul Pogba on his last full season at Man United, where he played in his favourite position as a number 8 with Matic and Herrera. And what did he do? Let's judge him on his last full season that he's had. Let's not judge him on an injured season when he's been injured, because that's not fair. If you want to judge Paul Pogba, let's judge him on his last full season. And what did he do? We saw what he done. PFA team of the season, top goals, top assist. Everybody was raving for him except for some Man United fans who weren't happy. So for me, like Flores said, we can play with a 6 and 2 8s. I believe we can play with a 6 and 2 8s. But our manager's he's not bold enough to do that, because every time he's done it, unlike Pep and Klopp when they were doing it, trying to get their squad to learn the new system of play, they stuck it out. They stuck it out even when they lost games. But Oli, he loses a game. He's losing games anyway, but he loses a game. The fan base goes nuts. He panics and thinks, I can't let this happen. Let me put defensive players, blah, blah. And then we're back where we are.
Well, Flores, what do you think the kind of a fan base is looking at for Pogba? I want to know what for me, what do they want to get out of Pogba? And I know, they wanted him to be
everything. They want him to do everything, fam. They want him to defend. They want him to defend. They want him to keep clean sheets. They want him flying into tackles. They want him creating from deep. They want him creating from the number 10 position. They want him scoring goals. They want him scoring left foot, right foot, headers. They want this boy to do absolutely everything. And make us win a quadruple. You get what I'm saying? They want this guy to do everything. Yes, he doesn't help himself all the time, but the expectation on him is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? 187 Gangster Crip, we're working on it, innit? Probably in the new year or something like that. We'll sort out some merch. You get me? But yeah,
what do you think? Yeah, sorry. They wanted to do everything, and same goes to you and Mustafa. What do the fans want?
Like I told you, for me, the last season that we can judge Paul Pogba on, the last season that we can judge him on is his last full season. The last full season that he played was the season that he got those high stats. And even then, as a fan base, we were split. So how can a man have his best footballing career season, be the top goal scorer at Man United, top assist, PFA team of the season, like I said, and still as a fan base, be unsure if he's good enough to play for Man United, if he's the player that he's meant to be. When I saw that, and I saw that the numbers and the stats that he hit, had he been at Barcelona or Real Madrid, he would have been in a Champions League winning side or a La Liga winning side because of the numbers that he hit from midfield with all the strikers doing their jobs around him. He would have been in a superb team, and they wouldn't have had that conversation. The fact that the players weren't doing it that season, Martial, Rashford, Lukaku, the fact that they didn't do it and he had to stand up, and still the fan base was unsure if Paul Pogba was the real deal. That's when I knew that this guy's never going to get appreciated at Man United. I don't think we'll let the fan base will ever, as a whole, will ever appreciate him like that. I don't think so. I think even if we win titles and FA Cups and that, people are still going to say, well, it was Bruno, it was this, it was that. It's always going to be something.
And you know what, Florence? I just want to go back to kind of the media and whatnot. Like as going forward now, you know what I mean? What can we learn and what can we kind of evaluate now from all this? You know what I mean? How do we move on as a footballer society? What can we do as content creators, people that are on social media? What can we do to kind of eradicate this discrimination, man? And for me, what the kind of abuse that Mason Greenwood's getting online from the Daily Mirror of all people. You know what I mean? Obviously, the Daily Mail yesterday. What can we do to kind of bring more awareness? Do we boycott? What do we do? What's your kind of solution to all this?
Definitely boycott. 1,000% boycott. 1,000%. Also, we need to continue to support. You get me? Your Greenwoods. You get what I'm saying? Your Rashfords. And don't just support because it's a player of your club. Like when it's for Sterling, I was at their neck same way. You get what I'm saying? I don't care what black player it is. It doesn't matter what you can play for Liverpool. It doesn't matter what club. Yes, Joe, you're saying? What club you play for? We need to defend them. You get what I'm saying? And we just need to continue to call them out, whether it's on social media. We also need to call them out on platforms like this. You have a big platform, Saeed, so we need to continue to talk. No matter the size of your platform, you need to just keep it going. You get what I'm saying? And keep this moving. And that's what we have to do. Shout out Stroh in the building and that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Shout out Stroh. Come on, man. What are you telling me, bro?
Good man, you.
Yeah, man. What do you think of all this, man? You know what I mean? Obviously, the Mason Greenwood, Paul Pogba slander online. Like, for you as a Liverpool fan, what do you make of all this?
It's a disgrace, to be honest. Here's my issue with it, right, is white people, myself included, other white people who have got platforms need to do more, need to do a lot more, because it's completely unfair. We get a certain treatment which the likes of Mason Greenwood and Rashford don't. And in society, like, that makes no sense to me. Like, we're all on an equal playing field. We're all one human race. Like, I don't care about your colour of your skin and none of that shit. Like, if you're good to me, I'll be good to you. Do you know what I mean? And looking at the headline with Phil Foden and he's setting up for the future, and then Rashford's headline, it's a disgrace. And then this is what I was saying to Flawless yesterday and stuff like that. It's like Liverpool fans came together to get the sun out of here. Like, United fans need to do the same for the Daily Mail, but not just United fans though. Liverpool fans, City fans, Chelsea fans, football fans in general. Look at what Marcus Rashford has done. This man needs to be treated to a different, higher level because of what he's done for underprivileged kids. And then you've got newspapers just trying to bring him down because they're jealous and because certain MPs have been feeding him lines and they're trying to just tarnish his name because he's made them look embarrassing. He's absolutely embarrassed the government. So, yeah, forget the Daily Mail, man. Absolutely disgracing. Listen, Rashford's a king and I'm a Liverpool fan and I'll say this happily. He's the only man who plays for Manchester United. I pray to God and I hope he does get a standing ovation at Anfield because there's no one that deserves it more than him.
Facts, man. Absolutely, man. Obviously, Musa, same question to you. You know what I mean? What can we do as a great society? You know what I mean? To kind of eradicate this, man. I feel like for me, it's getting a bit of a joke at the minute. It really is, man. You know what I mean? And I feel like I can't hear you, bro. You're gone. Your sound's gone.
Yeah, I think what Flawless said earlier, man, accountability. We need to start holding journalists accountable because accountability. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yo, 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 yo. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Keep going. Keep going.
Yo, 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 yo.
Keep going. Keep
Yo,
going.
yo, yo.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Am I still there?
You're still there. You're still there. Keep going.
Yeah, I think like Flawless said, the accountability, man. We need to start holding. Yeah, we need to start holding journalists accountable for the things that they write. You know, we need to start putting their names out. We need to start to you know, just holding them accountable so that they just can't be putting out stories and thinking that they can get away with it, because that's the issues that we're having now, that they're putting out stories and they have no accountability. No one's pulling them up. No one's, you know, holding them accountable for the stuff that they're writing. And I feel like as a fan base and as supporters, we need to continue to hold them accountable. And I feel like this is also a sign of, you know, a sign of that they're panicking and that they're losing viewers, and they're losing people to platforms like yourselves. And I think that this is an amazing platform, and it shows that even like they're prepared to do clickbait with newspapers now. A lot of the newspaper stories now are just clickbait. They just want people to go on their website and to see what's going on, and then you read the article and it's rubbish. And I think that's a fear for the fact that there's so many, you know, massive platforms like yourself.
Yeah, I think we lost him. Just to kind of round off the podcast, guys. What do you think needs to happen next then, Strowman? You know what I mean? What would be your kind of ideal solution? I just try to give everyone a kind of ideal solution. You see that,
Yo,
guys? Yeah. Go on.
What was the question? What would be an ideal solution for?
Yeah, as in like moving forward, you know what I mean, as a society level, you know what I mean? Football in society, what can we do? Obviously, with content creators, what can we do to kind of push this discrimination, racism out of football?
We just need to keep highlighting it when it happens, but we need to start, and I hate referencing it, but for example, you look at what Liverpool did and the Liverpool fans did when the owners tried to put the prices up. We came together and we walked out and we stopped that from happening. There's a reason you don't see the Sun newspaper in Liverpool at all. Like, that's not tolerated in Liverpool, and it's getting to the point now where if newspapers are going to keep treading over the line with this racist shit, and let's be honest, it's blatantly racist. Like, two young Manchester kids are literally just building for their future. One of them gets one completely different headline than the other, and the only way I can look at it is because the skin colour is different. And to me, that's a disgrace. So it's like, yeah, man, we need to do more as a society. We need to do more in general, and all we need to do is just keep raising our voice and just make sure that we give them a voice in this kind of element. So, yeah, man, that's all we can do.
Yeah, man. Musa, any final thoughts on that for you? You know what I mean? With this whole kind of media witch hunt, any final thoughts on that? I think we lost him. Yeah, I think we lost him. Yeah. Any final thoughts, Flawless, on that for you?
for us to boycott and attack. We need to keep being loud on social media, keep being loud about this and criticizing when we're creating content, and keep shaming these people. And we just need to boycott completely. Get me? I don't pay no attention to media, to newspapers anyway. So that's what we need to do, and start naming these journalists by name, like first and second name. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no worries, bro.
Yeah, but like that's what we need to do: boycott and continue to criticize and keep defending these men.
Yeah, like I said, man.
Supporting.
The best thing we can do is make sure that the journalists that write these stories are held up. You lost me, yeah?
Yeah, I think we lost you, bro.
Is he gone again?
Yeah, it's been a freestyling Wi-Fi today.
Yeah, it's been a Mazda still.
Social fixing his Wi-Fi for him, yeah.
Yeah, man.
Normally, you know what? Normally it's all right, innit? Because JV's normally here, so we normally use it. Just hotspot and that, innit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I don't know what's going on today and that, but yo, the show must go on. You get what I'm saying? And that.
That's it. The show must go on, man. Yo, listen, guys, we're going to end this podcast 898 here. Straightjacket Podcast 98. Before you leave, guys, please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to United Central. Obviously, you, man, from Pi Radio. You, man, are going live as well soon, innit?
7 o'clock, Pi Radio. Get locked in, people. You know what I'm saying? 7 o'clock.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Musa. Musa, can you hear me there? I think we lost Musa. Yo, Musa, it's been a pleasure for you coming on the show as well. Big up everybody who's tuned in. Guys, if you are watching this after the live show, smash that like on the video, guys. You know what I'm trying to say to you. Big up Sarcasm City. Go check them out. Sarcasm City. Go check them out. Link will be in the bio. Go check out Stroh's social as well. Also, the link will be in the bio. But guys, go check out our Pi Radio. That's been your Straightjacket Podcast. And we'll see you soon, guys.